For thousands of years, olive oil has been celebrated as the cornerstone of the health-promoting Mediterranean diet.
It's a whole lifestyle out of which we isolated the Mediterranean diet, which has been named the best diet in the world for several years in a row.
But scientists have struggled to prove how and why it's actually good for us.
We asked consumers, is olive oil healthy? And the answer was yes. And then you said, why? And they went, don't know.
This is the story of an extraordinary scientific study that's changed the way we understand how consuming olive oil, even as little as 20 ml a day, could make all the difference to our heart health.
This was a major finding for us. You know, it was this shock moment. Yeah, so it was brilliant.
It's 2012, and Dr. Bill Mullen and his team from Glasgow University are looking for a location for a new study to prove whether consuming olive oil can really prevent heart disease.
I came to the university in 1998. Glasgow at that time was the heart attack capital of Europe, and that's why we thought we should run this in Glasgow, because we have had real serious problems with heart disease in Glasgow. In measuring food changes and seeing a health effect, it is such a small amount that to actually see it, you just have to have that zero background. If you're trying to hear a whisper, you've got to get it no noise.
So we were really interested in doing a study of specifically olive oil, and we embarked on that collaboration with our Portuguese colleagues and Glasgow colleagues coming together and really asking people to volunteer for the study, and we asked them to consume extra 20 millilitres a day of olive oil for 6 weeks in total, studying their response to the oil as they went along the study.
Unlike previous long-term trials, they wanted to show in just 6 weeks the effectiveness of consuming a daily 20 ml dose of extra virgin olive oil compared to refined or basic olive oil, or following a typical Glasgow diet, which contained neither.
And all this was done in a way we call double-blinded. So the oil came from Portugal in bottles labelled A and B. We didn't know which one was which. The volunteers were given it and they took it home. We didn't know the names of the volunteers or anything about them when we actually got the samples to analyse. So when we got samples, it was just sample A number 1, sample A number 2 or B number 1. So we were totally blind to it.
To be able to measure the oil's effectiveness in such a short period of time, the researchers employed proteomics, a new technology introduced to Bill through a chance meeting with a fellow professor.
Proteomics is actually trying to look at all the proteins in the body at the one time, and you can do that for a group of healthy people, and you can do that for a group of people who have heart disease. And as other things, you can pattern match. So once you can see all of the proteins that are in the body for healthy people, compare it with all the proteins in the body for those with heart disease, you can make a fingerprint of that disease.
These disease fingerprints have now become known to scientists as biomarkers.
Biomarkers, in a way, are the holy grail of modern medicine. We're used to cholesterol, high cholesterol, low cholesterol, HDL cholesterol, LDL cholesterol, triglycerides, you name them.
There's many types of biomarkers, and some of them involve taking samples, such as blood samples, which might be a little bit not so much painful, but maybe inconvenient, and some that are found in urine.
Urine is actually filtered blood. Why does blood go through the kidneys? To get filtered. So it's a good source for actually being able to measure things like cardiovascular disease as well.
After just 6 weeks, the first results from the blind study were made available to the team, and they were extraordinary.
What we thought would happen was that we would measure something better in the group that consumed the olive oil which was extra virgin, so less refined compared to the more standard olive oil. But in fact, we didn't see that at all. We saw a benefit for both types, the kind of basic control oil and the extra virgin oil that contain more phytochemicals.
The study's conclusive evidence disproved the widely held belief that only polyphenol-rich extra virgin olive oil helps prevent cardiovascular disease.
As extra virgin olive oil and olive oil both showed up as having cardiovascular benefits, it can't just be from the polyphenols. Now, the polyphenols may have health effects that we just really couldn't show in this study.
The Glasgow study's surprising findings were featured in the BBC series Trust Me, I'm a Doctor.
We first heard about Dr. Mullen's research when we saw a BBC programme called Trust Me, I'm a Doctor. And it was very interesting to us because they carried out research that showed that daily consumption of olive oil reduced the incidence of cardiovascular disease. And what was also very interesting is that his research found that there was no difference between extra virgin olive oil or olive oil. So for us, it was something that finally was proof.
A second study, this time comparing olive oil with seed oils, was commissioned by the BBC specifically for the show's next series.
So they were interested in homegrown oils for cooking. And two of the main ones are rapeseed oil and sunflower oil. We set up the same group. We recruited people from Glasgow. The BBC recruited people as well. And we got enough volunteers, more than what we had previously. So we thought we've got a better chance of seeing a result. And as I say, we ran the study, and in time for the first programme, the 6 weeks data was ready to go out. And unfortunately, or just what is the truth, there was no difference.
This second study confirmed that consuming seed oils had no notable benefit to heart health. But with final results still pending, publication was shelved until leading olive oil brand Filippo Berio stepped in.
I've always been very conscious not to have olive oil promoted as almost a pharmaceutical product. It is about the pleasure of eating and eating well. But what was really important is that finally all this anecdotal chat that you have about olive oil being healthier, we actually have something that we can point to as actual factual evidence, and that's very important. And I think that then also reassures people that if they put it into their diet, that they actually are doing something that's good and beneficial both for them and for their families.
The only proof that we have is that extra virgin and olive oil actually have a beneficial effect on heart health. We can't say it for the other ones.
As scientists continue their research into the effect of diet on our health, proteomics has become a significant tool in revealing our susceptibility to many hidden degenerative conditions.
It's not limited to heart disease. It's been used in the context of other conditions, kidney disease, for example, and it's quite a useful way to assess someone's health status. And various studies have implemented that particular technology to do just that.
There's a whole load of other diseases. COVID, as we've now got that, we could actually tell who would be susceptible to COVID if they were to catch it.
While science continues to seek these answers, it's reassuring to know that olive oil, whether extra virgin or refined, has an important part to play in a healthy diet.
And it may not be just the one single factor that's happening, but it is that combination. And I think those are the areas that we really need to invest in further research to understand what really is delivering these benefits.
If anything, it really highlights the complexity of food and the food matrix and all the bioactive components that are within foods that might exert a beneficial or less beneficial impact on health.
In my humble opinion, food should not be treated as a medicine. It depends on your personal taste. Some great olive oils are produced in Spain, some great olive oils are produced in Greece, in Italy. And so do not look for the best olive oil. Use several olive oils, taste several olive oils, have in your kitchen many kinds of olive oil, and use the one you like the best in that exact moment.
I know there's big differences between the taste of extra virgin olive oil in olive oil. But as someone who's grown up in the west of Scotland, my palate can't tell the difference.
In terms of the evidence base that supports a healthful, long life, I think it's nothing really exciting. It's a very boring advice. Is balance, moderation, enjoyment, and putting food as part of culture. So it goes back very much to the Mediterranean diet principles.
If there's any myths about what olive oil can do, the only one I think I can categorically debunk is that it's good at restoring hair. I couldn't help that one. I just had to put it in.